women. We are brave, strong, capable, unique. We are women to women.
Welcome to another Woman to Woman show for you. Mid of Jan, we are slowly going back to our routine. We never stopped anyway, but that is part of our scope of work. We hope you have rested, you have enjoyed family, but now it's time to go back to our normal duties, to school, to activities. And of course, talking about our routine, what came to our mind, it was the silent to-do list. So today we are going to explore a silent to-do list. What is a silent to-do list? Of course, a to-do list everyone knows. It is related to things that you need to prioritize, to organize, to complete tasks you need to complete. But we wanted to focus on the silent one, the one that plays on inside your mind. It goes away, it comes back early in the morning, it is recapped before you fall asleep. So first of all, let us see what could be the silent to-do list in your life, in my life.
We are all very familiar with the famous to-do list. We all have it, most of us use it, and some of us actually stick to it. But have you heard of the silent to-do list? The silent to-do list is a concept by author Fumio Sasaki and states that the more possessions we have, the less we can concentrate on what matters to us, because our possessions constantly send us silent messages. And as you can imagine, these come with emotional labor added on top. All of our possessions need attention, and when we look to them, the silent to-do list pops up in our minds. Some of the items on the list could be unfinished projects, cluttered areas, a messy desk, the dishes that need washing, the laundry that's not ironed. The list can go on and on. The problem, however, is not that these tasks take up space in our minds, but the thoughts that come with those tasks are usually not positive. They remain at the back of our mind, causing feelings of guilt, frustration, or maybe even being inadequate. So tell us, how many items are on your silent to-do list? And what kind of an impact is it having on your life?
And I'm sure there are people right now who are watching and they're asking themselves, but how do I come up with my to-do list? Because the one that we saw, it's the general one. It's one that a lot of people do. But each and every one of us, we have our own silent to-do list. So how do you come up with yours, with one that suits you, with one that suits your lifestyle? So you have to look at what is necessary for you, because we all have these things that everybody says we have to do. But does it really suit my life? Do I really need to do it? Or is it something that social media says I have to do? So you have to be honest, and you have to look at what it is that you need to do. You have to look at what does your life require for you to do, and then make that silent to-do list for yourself, and don't copy from others, because the thing is, when you copy from others, you will fail at the end of the day, and you will be doing things that people say you have to do, but what you have to do will not be done. So at the end of the day, you will be left with a huge silent to-do list, because you were busy doing other people's silent to-do list and not minding your own. So you have to know exactly what it is that suits your life, what you need to do, and not copy off from other people's list.
And I'm sure maybe your list is much bigger than the one we gave. Mine is, or it could be much smaller. The point here is it a good or a bad thing? Some would say it's good because you can achieve more and you can take control of your time. So that is a profitable thing, because when you look back, you have achieved more, you have done in a shorter space of time. But others say it's bad, because then you are so captive of that list, you're hostage of that list, that's playing in your mind day and night, and it may lead you to stress, especially when you don't get that achieved. So the point of our discussion is, we all somehow have a to-do list, a silent one. Is it good or bad?
Personally, for me, I think it's good, because I've found that with broadcasting your list, or sometimes even jotting it down, like you said, there's that, urgency or that need of you fulfilling it, and it's almost addictive. You just want to tick things off, like done, done, done. And sometimes you're not doing it with the proper quality that you should be. But then with the silent to-do list, it's your commitment. Personally, it's mine. So I don't tell Silmara about it. So let's say something happens, as you said, maybe I can't do it on that day, or in that quarter, or in that period of time. I'm the one that will be the one dealing with that disappointment or the adjustments that I have to work around. But when it involves people, I feel like there's a huge level of disappointment, because now there's an audience that's just waiting and looking at you and be like, but you said you're going to do this, but you said you're going to take us there or do that or all of that. So for me personally, I like and I stick to the silent one. It works and I get it done.
For me, it's super good to-do list. I can't make it without
Not a silent one.
Not a silent one. I like to write things, and of course, prioritizing what it's important for that day. Because otherwise, I'll have a giant list, and it's frustrated when you don't fulfill all the tasks. So, for example, I write the things that I'm going to do. Like today, we had the show, so this was the priority. So it's the first item in my to-do list. And then when it will finish, what's going to be the next priority. I write things to do for me, not expecting others. So for example, in my to-do list, to not include something that I would depend of pressures to do for me, because her to-do list might not fit my to-do list. But I write everything, supermarket, things in the house, everything. And I like to learn new forms to make to-do lists. Like reminders, like to upgrade, to make it more easier, instead of just have a paper or just have it right in your phone. Another day, Miss Masha was teaching me how to do a to-do list in a different way.
Now, we have here the dispute between being accountable to yourself and being accountable to others. When you do your silent to-do list, you are accountable to yourself only.
Yes, it's just me. Even if it's things I need to do for others, but then it's just me.
And when you do it, do you do so that you are accountable to others as well, or to yourself?
To others as well. But in a sense of, if I need to do something for you, Ms. Masha, let me say, you ask me something, and you depend on what I'm going to do, that will be my priority, because your work depends on something that I need to do. But for example, if I needed to go to the supermarket, and I'm going to make a to-do list, then I need Precious, or Precious needed to give something to me. I will understand that I need to wait for her. I'm not sure if it's making sense. Accountability, yes, but I don't make to-do list expecting that she will fulfill my to-do list.
Girls, do you have the silent one, or do you have the jotted one?
I think I have a little bit of both.
That's interesting.
Because there are things I write, I like to write, but there are other things that I have in my mind. And the problem with the silent to-do list is that sometimes when I go to sleep, it's still there playing. things that I didn't make.
But I think that is the point for all of us.
Yeah, existiu
And
that.
the intensity of it is related to how do we take the merits of having a to-do list.
And the pressure that I put sometimes in myself, it's huge. And sometimes I talk to myself, but Silmara, why the day have only 24 hours? Why in your list you add as if you have 30 hours? So I need now to go to the, you learn tips with those who are more experienced, then to prioritize, then you say, okay, this one I didn't do, but it was not really relevant for now, for today. Leave it for tomorrow. But for supermarkets, I like to write so that I'm not lost. But a lot of things, it is in my mind. I know I need to do that. And I prioritize what is important. But sometimes I need to tell, okay, today, the day finish. You cannot do anything. The places are closed and go to sleep. But then I already thinking, tomorrow I could wake up a little bit early so that I can cover these parts that I didn't cover. And for me, works nice. But as we were talking, we can't expect the other person to fulfill your plans, like to come along with you. So in the case, for example, I have my silent list where my husband doesn't take place there, because if I try to share with him, he says, no, Silmara, I didn't think about it. And today I'm not going to talk about it. I said, okay. So I learned that it's my silent list, and I'm happy with that. And I need just to give me a bit of time. Okay, you didn't do it today, do it tomorrow, and everything will be okay.
May I share something that Silmara is speaking, and it's my husband is a to-do list. Like in the house, he's the head of to-do list.
Gosh.
He has it in his cell phone separated by categories.
So for him, it's not silent.
For him, it's not silent.
It's screaming to-do list.
It screams loud because he has reminders. So the reminder will keep ringing.
I don't think he's going to be happy to know you're talking about him.
Because Marie said that she doesn't share, or she shared, and the pastor says it's not. My husband, he makes sure that he shares with me the to-do list, because he knows that I am a to-do list, so that our list may, yes, they have an encounter, like they meet each other throughout the day. And it works for us in a good way. For us, it's good. Maybe for someone else would say like, oh my gosh, no way.
It's too much of priority and listing. Tell me, how do you deal? Do you have a silent list?
Okay, I'm gonna answer the first question when you asked, is it good or bad? And everyone said it's good. I'm gonna say, for me, the silent to-do list, it's bad. Because I don't like something in my mind constantly to the point that I can't even sleep properly. I cherish my sleep so much that if I didn't do it, then I didn't do it. But I have come with a strategy, because everyone knows that I'm a recovering late backer. So I have the written list.
So you are a work in progress.
I am a work in progress. So the one that for groceries I do, but then I leave room for other things. Like I don't really stick to what I wrote. So I will leave room to buy other things within my budget, of course. But the silent to-do one, I have come up with a way that it doesn't really need to bother me. So if something needs to take less than 5 minutes, then I do it immediately. But if it's gonna take more than 5 minutes, and maybe at that point I'm not really that I don't have that energy to do it, what I will do is I will do it for 5 minutes and then build up the energy to do it and to complete it. So I try not to go to sleep with a silent to-do list. If it's impossible to do it that day, then it's impossible to do it that day or that week. It's fine, because it's mine. And for me, I don't hold other people accountable. So even with the written one, it's for me. So, and if I disappoint myself, I disappoint myself. Although I try very hard not to disappoint myself because I want to believe in myself. So I make sure that I do what it is that I have to do. So it is realistic. My silent to-do list, it's not long. It's not long. It's like maybe 4 or 5. So I can do it very quickly. But then I don't think it is good to have it for me because I am not going to rest. I'm not going to sleep. My mind will constantly be working. So when Silmara says she goes to sleep and then maybe she will wake up the following morning, no, for me, it's not going to work. It's going to give me a headache and I won't be able to function throughout the day.
Now we need to make you a question. When you think about your silent to-do list, if you have one, do you feel overwhelmed by it? Or you can't cope with that list and then you decide to push it aside and let me go through my day and don't remember what I need to do? Let me exemplify. You have the sink full of dishes. You had your whole family coming for coffee, for lunch, and you were working. When you get home, you see your sink full of dishes because kids were on school holidays, they were eating the whole day, they called friends. What comes to your mind? To do it immediately, to attend to it immediately, or you push it aside and say, I will deal with that later?
Immediately.
For now.
I don't like dishes, so immediately.
It depends on how long it will take. If it will take less than 5 minutes, I do it immediately. If it's going to take more than 5 minutes, then I will have to find a way to do it.
And it's not going to be in your mind, a reminder.
I
With
won't,
all that you're doing, remember, your sink is full of dishes.
because I have other silent to-do
Ah.
things. So I have to prioritize them first. But of course, I'm not going to go overnight. They will not be there overnight. But then I might not do them at that time.
I think with me as well, it depends. If they are, let's say I come home from work and then the family's there, priority might be to spend time with this family, and then I will do the dishes after when they leave, instead of me being in the kitchen and they are there and I wasn't with them the whole day. So it depends on what the situation will be.
Funny enough, with me, it's when I arrive home, sometimes there is something there in the sink and my husband is there, then we have a conversation in the kitchen. While I'm washing the dishes, he's there, we were talking, and I do my job, and he's happy, I'm talking with him, and everything is clean there. And
But I have another question. If he would not be there with you, would you still wash those dishes?
I would, unless he would tell me, Silmara, I need you here. Then
Your instinct.
to wash. I need to wash. That's for sure.
Now let us change the scenario. Instead of being the dishes in the sink, because it's something that it's obvious and it is to the eye of anyone who walks in the house, how about you need to organize your wardrobe? It's behind doors, no one sees, but that is in your mind. I have to organize my wardrobe. It's a silent thing, or it is jotted in a piece of paper for you trying to recover from controlling. What you do?
It's silent for me, but I will do it because every time I have to open the wardrobe and get something, and if it's not the way I need it to be.
But will you attend to it quick, or it's one of the things that you're going to push aside?
I think quick, because as I was laid back before, so now I found that I like them.
Tell me the word. I am a work in
I'm
progress.
a work in progress. So now I like them color coordinated. I hope I'm not going to the other side. So now I like the whites with the whites. So when I go in, I will do it, because then I get irritated. Like, why is the white with the black, or the color with that? Yeah, my husband is proud of me, but he's getting concerned sometimes. Because everything, like,
He is worrying that now next move is going to make it, to force him to become like you.
yes, so yeah, I do it now.
And honestly,
immediately.
I have been trying for 30 years and a half and I couldn't. Yeah.
For me, it's a matter of to do immediately. because
You are still not a work in progress.
not
You
in these
try.
areas. Like organization for me, it's a must. I don't function with lack of organization. So when I open my wardrobe, I function fast, quickly. When things are easy, it's in my eye spot quickly instead of going like, where is it? Where did I put it? And then my husband comes after me. I'm looking for that shirt. And if I have other shirt, he wants that specific shirt that he doesn't find. For me, it makes me to slow down. It irritates me. It changes my mood, if I may put like this.
But do you keep that on a silent list in your mind, or you really need to jot down?
I really need to do it. And by the way, I labor the drawers of my wardrobe.
So you're not a work in progress. I'm
Not
sorry.
in organization.
Let us try to convince her to be a work in progress and to find balance.
Not in organization.
For me, it's a silent to-do list, but I give myself time. So it could be like within 3 months, then I have to organize.
Okay, your deadline for that is, because if you think you need to do it before, it brings you overwhelmed by that.
Yes. So for me, I do give myself like a long time. It's not immediately, but then because it's a silent to-do list and I know I have to do it, but then I give myself a period of 3 months the most to do it.
We are not taking sides and saying you need to be like this or you need to be like that, or it's good or it's bad. We're just exposing different experiences and ideas so that you make your own decision. That is the point of our program today. How much of it works for one or for the other? I'm going to come with another question to help you to identify where you're standing. Okay? When you don't achieve something that it was in your silent list, or from silent it came down to the paper, is it stressful or it's okay? Let me put an example. So you planned to fix your wardrobe. That was the plan for the day, okay? With so many holidays we had, I'm sure we all separated some time, because I know my friends. We do wardrobe cleaning, we donate clothes, we reorganize everything for the new year. I did it as well. You plan that. Silent list, I have to do it. Look at the condition of my wardrobe. And you arrive home and say, now I will start. But your husband comes and he needs you to do something else. Okay? I think we all fit in that, because that happens with us all the time. How do you react to that? You are in peace and you say, oh, later on we will attend to that. Or you were not in peace because you had it planned and you couldn't achieve it.
Okay, for me, I am at peace. Absolute peace. I don't feel disappointed in myself at all. I am completely fine if I didn't get to do what I wanted to do, like maybe whether it was jotted down or it was a silent to-do list. And the only way that I can...
It doesn't come hunting you before go to sleep.
No, absolutely not. I let it go and I tell myself, you know what, Tammy? You did well today. You did very well, okay? You did this, you did that. And I think it works if really I did something that was worth doing. But if I spent the day doing nothing, then that would definitely haunt me. But if I did something like...
That's a relevant point.
Yeah, so
because it depends very much on the much you have done in that day and you could not cope with this, so it's okay. But if you spend the day without any achievement or any improvement, then of course I think there is frustration.
Yes, there is frustration. And there were times that I would go throughout my day with nothing, like I would do just random things that I really didn't need to do, so that I don't have to do what I have to do. And then I would feel very disappointed. But then if I did something worthwhile, then I would definitely congratulate myself. Like, you did well, girl. You'll see that tomorrow is fine. If you don't get to do it tomorrow, then another day. But then as long as you did something worthwhile, something that was good, even though it took time, then it's fine if I didn't get to do what I had to do.
For me, as I know it will haunt me before go to sleep, so I divide by quarters. If I'm going to organize my wardrobe, I will divide it today, because we know it's a day-to-day life. Every time will come something on the way. We can't say, I will organize the wardrobe, everything today. No, so then I say, okay, today I will organize this side. Tomorrow, the other side. But if tomorrow I didn't, so at least I have in my mind, you did the first part. So I will be able to sleep.
You learned how to cope.
How to cope. Because sure, if I would leave everything for one day and I do it with everything,
And then he
house,
comes and says, we need to go somewhere.
yeah, then I'll not be moody, I'll not be frustrated, I will be able to sleep well to recover the energy for next day. So I divide it. Every day it's a little bit, especially with the wardrobe, because it's a lot of details, and then I will be fine. I didn't do the one of today, but I did yesterday, and tomorrow I'll carry on, and probably will not take like months, but at least a week. Then we'll be fine.
And you, girls?
For me, I think what I do is, let's say you spoke of the organization of the wardrobe. So then my husband will come in, okay, Precious, we need to do something else, or we need to go somewhere else. Okay, I'll be at peace. But what I usually do is the following morning, I'll wake up a bit earlier, like extra earlier, like an hour earlier, or maybe 30 minutes earlier, do that section, and then cope that way. So that's what I do, because I'm a person, I don't like things out of place. Like, people that know me know that I don't like, especially the kitchen, like I do not like things everywhere. So I wake up earlier knowing that as I'm going through the house doing something, so I'm grabbing something, I'm putting that one in place, I'm putting that one in place, so that everything can be okay. So I always then reschedule my hours. Then I wake up earlier, because during the day I know things are out of control. Like she said, it's not a winning thing. And in the evening, it's time to spend with my family, where we going through the day, how everybody was and stuff like that. So mornings, I know I have a bit of control in, so I squeeze things in the early hours.
Yeah, for me, it doesn't frustrate. That's the part of the work in progress, because before I would put everything for one day. For example, if I'm gonna make a spring clean in the house, I want to spring clean the whole house in one day. So when I noticed that was not good, because it was affecting my relationship, it was affecting my mood, it was affecting me in a bad way. That's when I learned. So for example, I see what I have to do during the day, so I can clean the bedroom. So today I'm gonna spring clean my bedroom, organize my bedroom, and then I'll have time to do other things.
But if he comes in and says, oh, we need to go somewhere.
I go, and then my mind quickly already organize the next time that I'm going
The
to
silent
do
list
that.
kicks in.
You know, it's not that, okay, let us go, I'll see when I have time to do it. No, I'm already seeing when I will have the opportunity to go back to that, but I don't say, no, we are not going because I need to finish this.
Yeah, because the controller has been set behind 2021. We're trying to establish, is it good or bad? So what we learned up to now, first of all, when we have big conquests are rare. So it's quite difficult that you have your silent list and you manage to tackle all the items in the list. We need to cherish small conquests. So I had 10 items and I couldn't achieve that. I couldn't clean the whole house, but I gave time to my bedroom. I'll be happy with that. Also, we have realized that when you, there are certain people, when you get things done is when you have peace. But for others, even if you don't get those things done, you are still in peace. So there are those who say, you're not going to rest. And for some of us, rest means I've done what was in my mind. So now I can rest, not physically, I might be tired, but my silent list is cleaned. There are others that resting is physical. So even though if that silent list is still there, they didn't engage in doing those things, they feel rested because they took time to physically rest. Do you agree? Yeah. Because this is what we're coming to. But I brought Boitumelo here because would you believe that her groceries list comes with price tags? That is new to me. And I am someone who loves organization, but that is new. And she is going to talk a little bit about her evolution or her work in progress, moment of truth. Who was Tumi before?
So, hi everyone, I'm Dumi. I'm a recovering controller. So I'm in good company. We are all work in progress. So as Ms. Marcia has mentioned, I don't know where the pressure came from, but I love lists and I love to know what I need to do.
Lists, boxes, baskets, and labels.
No,
and
I'm not.
Files.
No, just lists. I admire the boxes, the baskets, the labels, but I'm not there yet. But lists, that's me. Give me a spreadsheet. If I have to put formulas in, even better. Like, it can be the most mundane task, but if it's on an Excel spreadsheet, I'm happy. I will do it for you. So with me, before when I was really controlling, and I don't know, I think when you're controlling with yourself, you do tend to have expectations on other people, which is not good. And that's the first thing that I learned and I had to realize. Also with the disappointment, especially when you come into the work of God, and I was used to living by myself. I'd always, from a young age, I had always been on my own and had to be responsible for myself. So now it was always a challenge that when I would be with other people, even at home with my mother saying, do this, do that, my mind would struggle because as a child, I'm used to doing what I need to do, and I have my own list, even like as a young child. So when I got married, the main thing that was the main takeaway, and I think it's something that you mentioned, Ms. Marcia, in one of the many meetings or discussions that we've had, it was about that disappointment when you can't do what you have, be it a written list or a silent list. When with the life that we live, that there's nothing set in stone. At any given time, it can be that, oh, there's a meeting, or you need to do this, or we need to do that. Or you're transferred. And when you have hold on that written or silent list, it can bring frustration. So in the beginning, I used to have that way that, I need to do this, this has to be done this way. And when those changes would happen, it would be frustrating. I would never say that to anyone, but when one day you mentioned it, it resonated with me that, the disappointment is too much. And it's not good, not just for the work, but also for my spirituality. I wasn't like the wind, like you mentioned in the previous show. So over the years, I have evolved in terms of not being controlling, and my husband is very much like a chilled person. He really does not, we are like opposites. He doesn't stress about anything. But, to tell the truth, he likes my list and my organization. So he always says, no, plan ahead. But now it's a matter of I plan and I bring to him to say, this is what I have in mind. What do you think? I might be frustrated because he might take 3 weeks to come back to me. But at
if
least,
ever?
Yes, if ever. But at least now I know that it's not me. I don't do things for myself. I have a wide room for disappointment, for change, for someone having a different idea. So I love lists. I still love lists. And I know Precious saw my daily, it's like a daily routine. It was mostly a morning routine. One thing that I have to mention is that I have bad memory. I really have a bad memory. If you ask me something and I don't put it down on paper, it's not going to be done. Not because I don't want to do it, but because I forgot.
So that's why the silent one doesn't work.
The silent one doesn't work for me because it's so bad. And I don't know, maybe it's a medical thing that needs to have attention. I can go on, like maybe open a browser, internet browser, like because I need to search something. The minute it opens, it's like, what was I looking for again? And it will come back to me maybe 5 minutes later. So I know that when someone requests something of me, or when that silent list is triggered in my mind, I need to jot it down to ensure that I will do it. Like Tammy said, do what would work for you. Don't copy what someone else. So for me, it's a coping mechanism. But then I started with a morning routine, like that Precious saw, and she was like, no, why do you have so many things on this list? It was a way for me to put in place, to create new habits. I wanted to have a new morning routine because there were things that were important to me that I was realizing that I was not doing. So before I start my work day, I wanted to have done certain things. So a list helped me to put those in place. But now, because it's part of me, it's there, but it has become more of a silent list because I don't need to check it anymore. I know that these are the things that I love to do. If I've done them, great. If I didn't, great. But before, it would be like, I failed, I'm a failure. I didn't do this, I didn't do that. But then from the previous show, when we were doing at the end of 2021, I realized that what I had done wrong was that I took the list that helps me to cope because of memory or things that are important, prioritizing what I need to do for the day. I did a daily routine. It was a weekly thing, and then I tried to adapt it to the year. Like, I'm going to plan for the year, and it did not work. It was
So you need a hard drive in your mind.
Yes.
Because the silent list needs
I think it was
gigabytes of memory.
It was that thing where it was like, oh, when something works at a small scale and you think, oh, it works, for the day, so I'll do it for the week. Oh, it works for the week, so now I'm going to do it. I thought I could adapt it to make a year plan. And as you said, I was not being like the wind. When you plan that way ahead and you try to put things in place. I don't know what's going to happen in February 2022. I don't know. I don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow. So a to-do list for today, invisible or written down, it's things that, like Miss Ale mentioned, when something happens, you can rearrange, okay, I can't do this now, but I'll do it then. But what I was trying to do in 2021 was trying to adapt something that had worked. And I thought, oh, now because it worked, let's plan for the year. And it didn't work. Like literally when it came into March, it was not working and I was still trying to force and it just did not work. And that's the main takeaway for me in terms of lists, that even when those who may not have been making lists, when they start, if it starts to work, don't become, too much, because that's what I tried to do. Be like the wind. And I think even for this new year, I didn't go back to that craziness of planning for the whole year. I'm a work in progress, and I learned that it didn't work. So we will have to adjust. I had to adjust. I will always need a list because it gives me a little bit of control, or at least gives me a little bit of, this is what I need to do. If I didn't manage to do it, I no longer feel bad or feel sad because I'm a work in progress. But before, I would really be disappointed, and it wasn't good for my well-being. It really wasn't good because now it's like we put ourselves down, which is the devil's work. But we do it for him, like, oh, you failed, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. So that's my main lesson, that I learned in the past year. And in 2022, I plan to be like the wind. I will still have my list. I still have things that I know I need to work on because I have seen that, God wants me to, He has brought them to my attention. However, other things or the manner in how I need to work on them, I am not planning to the details like I had done in the previous year.
I think we don't have a conclusion for the topic of today. But if I could just highlight something, we need to look for what really works for us. So a silent list may work for some. A written list will be more effective. The point here, both extremes. There are things you cannot leave unattended. As a woman of God, as a mother, as a wife, as a daughter, there are things you cannot just leave for tomorrow hoping that someone will come in and do your job. but also you cannot be hostage of everything that you think you need to do, that you want to do, and when you don't get those things done, because most of the time, and she's going to confirm, they were not really important, but you were so passionate about getting them done that it brought frustration. And you missed many real nice things in your life. Family time, time with God, opportunity to sit with friends, opportunity to dedicate yourself to learn something else while you still going through your list. So whatever suits you, I think the key element is to find the balance. And the balance comes with being like the wind. Did it work before with many lists and you wanted to get to the bottom of all of them?
No, because it's too much. You become overwhelmed. When you are a hostage to the list, it can be overwhelming. And I think the bad part about it is that you go up and down. So today you do the 16 items on the list and it's like, yay, I'm great, I did it all. Tomorrow you do 2. Oh, I'm a failure. It's so sad. I didn't do what I was supposed to do. So you can't live as a consequence of the highs and lows of the list. A list has to be a guideline. This is what my priorities. I have to prioritize.
I think that is the word we could take for our today's show. It's a guideline. It's not a must. Now, Tumi, you have experienced the change. Would you invite our viewers to be a work in progress and to use our badge, but also to get to work and progress?
So to our viewers out there, as you've been listening to the show and you saw the end of the year, the 2021 end of year specials, we spoke about the work in progress. So we have a badge that is on our social media profiles. If you have not yet participated with this badge, join in and decide in which area of your life you are going to be a work in progress. It may not necessarily be a list or to-do list issue for you, but whatever God is showing you that you need to start working on, join us, be a work in progress, and put your badge on your social platforms.
The most important, start working on what you need to change. Don't just put a badge and say, I am part of this group, but you don't work on that. After the break, I'm going to review to you God's to-do list. Would you know that God has a to-do list? He has a to-do list for us, and I'm going to bring that to your knowledge. Stay tuned.
So tired of holding on to raise my hopes and fail again. Yet your voice do I hear? Just your voice do I hear? To turn this desert into pastures green. I found you by the well. With you I'll never thirst again. I owe my all to you. I owe my all to you. You've turned my desert into pastures green. Embrace me now. To the altar you and I. To fight, to sacrifice, overcome and find new life. How good it was to wait. With you I'll never fail again. For now I truly know a love that's born of faith, a love that is born of faith. Embrace me now to the altar, you and I, to fight, to sacrifice, overcome and find new life.
Welcome back to our show, and now we are going to look into what would be God's to-do list for us. Not his list, but his list for us. And I think that would bring to you a clear understanding of our today's topic, because God's list for us is reveal his glory, and it is our privilege to reflect his glory. So whatever suits you, you always need to ask, being in that way or in this manner, overwhelming or letting it go, am I bringing glory to God? He counts on us to reflect his glory. He cannot reflect his glory merely because of the creation, but he needs each one of us to be the living creation that will point out to him. That brings the responsibility of everything we do to make sure that we are reflecting his glory. So, if you being so organized makes you to be overwhelmed, stressed, moody, you should be complimented by your organization, but you're not reflecting God's glory. However, being someone very open-minded, you don't worry about any organization, you don't have any list, you are not subject to any responsibility, it makes you to be a very easy person to live with. But does it really bring God's glory? Because when he wants you to change in certain ways, you're going to always live for tomorrow. In Colossians 1:27 we read, "To them God willed to make known what are the riches of the glory of this mystery among the Gentiles, which is Christ in you, the hope of glory." So to the Gentiles, those who would not be Jews by birth, would not confess his name, he made a purpose to bring Christ to them so that in them it would reflect God's glory. In whatever we do and who we are, we have a mission. We have to accomplish God's to-do list for us, to reveal his glory to this world. The way you are, your profile, your nature, is it reflecting God's glory? By the beginning of the program we said, is this good or is this bad? You have the answer. It depends on your nature, depends on your objectives, it depends on your responsibility, your role in the society. But whoever you are, whatever you do, always make that simple question. Is this reflecting God's glory to the world? When people see me, do they see my Father, my Creator, in whatever I do? Are they pleased with what I do and is it pointing out to God? If so, you are achieving God's to-do list for your life. It's not easy to understand what God wants from us and what we can do so that we will reflect his glory. But we are going to pray for you and for us, because even the show, if we're not doing to reflect God's glory, it's pointless to be here every Friday. And many times we come across topics and we come across subjects and we always ask, is this really going to point out to God? So it's meaningless to talk about this if it's not. But when we find a topic that will somehow lead you to see God's glory, then we choose it. And for that we need prayer. We need the wisdom of God. And this is what we're going to ask right now for you and for us as well. Please close your eyes.
My Lord and my Father, in the name of Jesus, I ask you right now, my God, to help all of us to reflect, because we are just starting one more year and we don't want to carry with us the same mistakes of last year and things that you already spoke, because each and every day, my God, you use people, you use your word, you use this program to speak to us. So help us to look inside, regardless of how difficult it will be to quiet the voice of our hearts, our feelings, but make us to understand that you want the best, and whatever you are showing to us that needs to change, that needs to improve, is for our own good and to reflect your glory, my God. That is our day-to-day life, to show your glory to people. And if we need to go against our own nature, our human being nature, help us to have this strength to do that, my God, so that in everything we do, we may glorify your name. That is what I pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. So, this is why we invited you since the end of 2021 to become work in progress. When we are so sure of who we are, and we don't want to change, we don't want to grow, we don't want to develop, we don't want to do the will of glory, to become better, we limit God in our lives. He wants to give more. He wants to trust more to each one of us. But when we come and say, this is who I am, that's how I grew up, that's my background, I don't have education, we're not simply limiting ourselves. We're limiting God, and in that way, we're not bringing His glory to the world. Becoming a work in progress, really meaning, Lord, what I need to change? Who am I in today's topic? Am I going in the right way or not? I'm going to work in this area of my life. Maybe finances is a challenge for you. Maybe being a good employee is a challenge for you. Maybe you have so many issues in your household, with your family, with your parents, and being a better daughter is a challenge for you. God wants you to be work in progress. So our invitation is not merely that you get a badge and you post it in your social platforms, but is that you embrace the challenge of really becoming better so that you can reveal God's glory. Next week, we bring something else to you, another challenge, another wake-up call, and this is what we're going to be talking about.
Welcome to Nature vs. Nurture, the show that puts guests in challenges to find out the truth. Were they really born that way? Meet our contestant Maggie, described by most as fierce and a bit scary, to be honest. But she says she was born this way and there's no need to change. 20 relationships, 10 fights, and multiple jobs later, let's find out how well it's really going. What do the audience votes have to say? Not even I was expecting that. Join us this Friday at 3 p.m. to find out what all that is all about.
Until next Friday then, God bless you all, and bye-bye. Until next Friday then, God bless you all,